Bobbins Knits. My name's Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits in the groups tab on Ravelry, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. You can't have that. I've just made myself a chai tea latte, and Bobbin absolutely loves foamed milk. So you love the foamed milk, don't you? I hope you've been really well since the last time I saw you. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's just been a really hectic time. And then someone wrote in the forum, I hope that you're not not podcasting because you're feeling overwhelmed, because I imagine you've got a lot to share now. And that is part of the reason it's been a while, because I was a bit busy, and then by the time I could podcast, I had amassed quite a lot of things, quite a lot of finished objects, quite a lot of experiences that I wanted to tell you about. And yeah, it suddenly felt quite overwhelming, the amount I had, and then the longer I left it, the more things I had to show you and share with you. So yeah, you were very we hit the nail on the head there. So that was part of the reason that I haven't recorded for a while. But it's Saturday morning, David's just gone out for a while, and it's just me and the boys in the house. I say in the house, Teddy is outside. He is insisting on making our living room into a refrigerator because it's pretty chilly now, and he just constantly wants to be sat outside. And I can't shut him outside. I could, but I can't, in case he wants to come back in again. So we just have to have the back door open pretty much all the time. It's getting quite chilly, isn't it, Bobbin? So I've got my hot water bottle down there actually, because I've been sitting with that, honestly. And sometimes he'll come in and just sit on the back of this sofa and look outside. But if I dare to shut the door, he wreaks havoc. He'll charge around the house wailing about how cruel I'm being. So I thought what I'd do to limit the overwhelming amount of things I have to show and share with you. I want to show and share with you, because I could quite easily just start from what's happening now, but lots of things have happened and lots of things have been exciting, so I'd really like to share those with you. And I seem to have finished quite a lot of things lately, and you might like to see those. So what I've decided I'll do is I'll just split up what I have to share into a couple of different podcasts, and they'll probably be a bit shorter than normal, and to ease me back in to chatting about what I've been up to and what I've been working on. So in this one, I thought I would talk about the creativity festival that I went to in August, and I'll mention my wedding to David a little bit, and the projects relating to that, and I'll also draw for the prize that we had from the knit-along that we were having. So let's start with the Creativity Festival. It was held at Hillview Farm, which is just 10 minutes around the corner from me, which was absolutely lovely. And we all stayed in these what are they called? Kind of yurts, I think. I know, I'll put in a video and that will probably show you better than I can explain. But yeah, it was just a really, really lovely, relaxing time. We had incredible weather. There were a couple of sort of rain showers, but nothing that stopped us from having fun because we were outside all the time. And you know, I got back from that and just realised how much I miss being outside quite a lot of the time. We always used to go camping every summer when I was younger, and I have such fond memories of that and miss it a little bit. So we actually went camping a couple of years ago and it was just so lovely, but it was only for, I think it was only for 1 night or 2 nights. But yeah, I absolutely loved being outside. I came home, I wasn't sort of like scrubbed to within an inch of my life like I usually am if I'm home. All of my clothes smelled of bonfire and it was just lovely. When we were there, there were lots of different workshops that we could choose from. So I've got bobbin hair on my nose. And one of the workshops I chose was macrame. And I'll put links to the teacher in the show notes. And I'll pop a bit of video of my macrame hanging in this podcast. But I had so much fun doing that macrame. I've done a little bit a little while ago. Oh, actually, I'd say a little while ago. It was quite a while ago now, and enjoyed it at the time. But I did something quite small scale. I think it was at uni. Some sort of. I think they were just teaching us the odd bit about lots of different things at that time. So we had to go at macrame. But this workshop was so much fun and it was just so satisfying because at the end of, I think it was about a 4-hour workshop, we had this finished thing. And as soon as I got home, I was absolutely desperate to hang it on the wall. It felt like such an achievement to actually have finished something in the workshop. That's not something you get very often with knitting workshops, is it? But it's not something I have found that I have done, because with knitting you tend to sort of be learning a technique or something that you can adapt to other things. You don't tend to do, or I haven't tended to do, just a small project that could be finished in a few hours. So it was very, very satisfying coming away from the workshop with a finished thing that was ready to go on the wall. After the workshop, I did sort of have to, I didn't have to, but I sort of split all the plies of the loose strands because the teacher had done that, and it looked so finished rather than leaving the strands wound. So yeah, I sat by the fire and did that, which was just blissful. But yeah, it was just such a lovely retreat, and if it's on next year, I would definitely love to go, because it was so lovely to try some different things. It was so lovely to spend some time outside. It was lovely to meet some really, really interesting people. The food was delicious. A lot of it was sourced from the farm, and Natasha, who runs Hillview Farm retreats and Young Company, and she'd made quite a lot of things fresh. So it was just absolutely lovely. I'm so pleased that I had the opportunity to go to that retreat. It was really, really, really wonderful. So yeah, that was an excellent start to August. So to celebrate the sort of first creativity festival, we had a knit along in the group, and we were knitting the Load Shawl by Claire Devine, or another small shawl. And when we go upstairs in a minute, I'll draw for the prizes, but I just wanted to show you mine. I haven't actually blocked mine yet, so oh, pop it. I don't know if you can see them, but it's flopped. I haven't blocked mine yet, so I'm going to do that later today. But it was such a fun knit. I'll pop in some close-ups when it's blocked, because actually it looks nice unblocked. But it was such a fun pattern to knit. I noticed in the group that a couple of people had knit more than one, and I can really see why. It was really intuitive and simple once you got past the start, and it was just a really fun knit. So if you didn't join in with the knit along but you fancy a nice little neck warmer, then I would really recommend this, because it's really fun. Yeah, it was really fun to knit. I'm not sure what size I did, because I didn't do a size particularly, because I just, once I got to one of the bits, now we're going back to August and I can't remember very well, but once you'd finished increasing, I think I just kept on knitting until I had about 10 grams left. So yeah, it's slightly bigger than the small, I think. But yeah, it was beautiful, and it's made such a gorgeously squishy fabric. So yeah, I'm going to block that later today. I do love I-cord. I think I-cord edgings just finish things off so beautifully. And it's got a little loop there. I wonder if you can see that you can pop the end through. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this. I used Hillview Farm yarn for mine, and I think it was a BFL. Yeah, it's a BFL, and the colour was steel, and it was really lovely to work with. So I think that's going to be very cosy. And this is totally my mum's colour, so I think that she's definitely going to want this one. So yeah, I'll draw for the prizes when we go upstairs in a bit. So later on in August, David and I got married, and it was just the best day. It had been, the lead up had been a bit stressful. Unfortunately, not everyone was happy that we were having the tiny little wedding that we wanted, and that led to lots of unnecessary stress and quite a few tears. But when the day actually came, it was perfect. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for better. I couldn't have dreamt of better, which was just so lovely. We went to, well, David and I drove to the registry office together, with Bobbin, of course, in your floral bow tie, didn't we? And got married. I met guests there. There were only 10 of them. And we got married. And then we went to this lovely little pub that's local to have some nice lunch. And we chose there because they do lovely food, but they also are fine if you take dogs. So since the star of the day had to be involved in the entire thing, we had to go and eat there, didn't we? He was such a good boy. And then we came home and everyone else came with us to Mum's cake and champagne and all of the little handmade touches that my mum had done for the day, which were, they were just so special. I really hoped to take some video on the day, but I don't know what I was thinking. The day just flew, and the last thing on my mind was picking up my camera. We didn't have a photographer or anything like that. We just asked the guests to take photos when they felt like it. And we got some really lovely photos, so perhaps I'll pop in a few here. I might have a little bit of video of the tablecloth that Mum embroidered as well. I've actually still got that on the table. I can't take it off. It's just too lovely. And we also have the cake that Mum made, all of the napkins that she made. so special, and it was so David and I. It really, the day really, it was just so us. So yeah, it was perfect. So thank you so much for all of the lovely well wishes that I got about that, and lovely comments on my photo on Instagram that I shared. It was just really, really special. Really, yeah. I seem to lose all of my articulateness when I'm talking about something massive. So yeah, it was pretty massive and it was pretty amazing. So I feel very lucky that it went so well. We took photos in the back garden, all of us, and improvised with my camera on a tripod and using my phone as the remote and things, and it was all really fun. Yeah, and then after the wedding, David and I went on a little honeymoon. We went to this hotel that we really like in Painswick in Gloucester, and just spent a few days relaxing after all of the organising. I don't know how people do a big wedding, because it was quite stressful having a tiny little one. So yeah. But while we were there, we went into Stroud, and there's this shop in Stroud, and it's half pet shop, half yarn shop, and they sold blacker yarns. And I had wanted to knit the Hollows shawl by Melody from Mandarins, who I actually met at the Creativity Festival, which was lovely. I'd wanted to knit the Hollows shawl that she designed for quite a while. And also when I was at the Creativity Festival, my friend Alex, who I went with, had bought her Hollows shawl with her to knit. Alex Collins Designs. She'd bought her Hollows with her to knit while she was there, because she was towards the end, and there are some pretty long rows towards the end. So I thought, what a perfect memory it would be to get some yarn while we're on our honeymoon and start a really special shawl that I know I'll get a lot of wear out of. So I chose the Blacker Swan Falkland Islands wool from Swan Inlet Farm, the 4-ply, and this is gorse, and it's such a gorgeous colour. I'd been sort of plotting since seeing Alex's shawl at the retreat. I'd been plotting in my mind what sort of colour I was going to get, and I was thinking there's this beautiful fawn colour that Blacker do in the Swan. I was thinking I was going to get that, but then I saw this one on the shelf, and I just fell in love with it. So yeah, there were just enough balls there for me to get for this shawl, and so I picked it up and we went back to the hotel, and I was thinking, oh, I wish I could cast that on, but I didn't have needles with me. I'd only taken a sock project, and I think I might have taken this jumper. This is my Branches and Buds jumper by Carrie Bostic Hogue, I think, from a making magazine, the first making magazine. But I thought I'd tell you about the jumpers. I've finished a few garments, so I thought I'd tell you about those in the next instalment. So yeah, I didn't have the needles with me, and I was thinking about it that night, and then the next night we popped to a little shop in Stroud that's actually closed down since, I think, and I picked up the needles, so I was able to actually start this while I was away, which just, I'm so happy I did. It's such a lovely, relaxing pattern to work on. Now, I haven't blocked it yet. I can't decide whether to block it or not. I'd quite like to block out this little lump, but I don't know if it will or not. But I don't want to lose any of the squishiness. It is such a beautifully squishy shawl. I think that Blacker Swan might be my favourite commercial yarn. It is so soft and it's so bouncy. If you look at the yarn, it doesn't look like a 4-ply or fingering weight yarn. It looks much more plump, but it does knit to a 4-ply tension. But it's so beautifully soft. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this. I can't decide whether to block it though, because I don't want to overstretch it and garter stitch. There's a bit of garter stitch in it, and garter stitch tends to stretch quite a lot when you block it, doesn't it? I don't want it to stretch out too much. And when I saw Alex more recently, she'd finished her shawl and she was wearing it. She hadn't actually blocked hers, and it looks lovely. So I'm not sure yet. I could spray it and just pin it out, but I wonder whether it will get to be a lovely shape when I just wear it. But if I am to wear it, then I've got ends that I really should cut off. But it's just such a beautiful shawl. Obviously I can't see myself, so I have no idea how I'm putting this on, but oh, it's so cozy and just perfect when your cat won't let you shut the back door. And it's very chilly. I wonder what the temperature is today. It's apparently 11 degrees. So yeah, pretty cold. So this is a beautiful shawl and a beautiful memory. Really special, this one. I love it. But yeah, those end rows. I did slightly go off-piste towards the end. I took this to the Curious Handmade Country House retreat that I went to in September. I think I'll talk about that in the next episode as well. I think if I sort of keep them a bit shorter, then it'll just ease me in a bit better. And honestly, if I'm with other people, my ability to knit just goes out the window. And all I had to do was a couple of rows in knit, and then I think, oh, I can't remember what I had to do, but it was very simple, and I managed to mess it up. So mine has a very special design element where I've got too many garter ridges before my eyelets, but that's fine. And there might be some other slight differences in it as well, but the overall effect is just the same. It's just a huge amount of beautifully squishy fabric. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I knit this one on 4mm, which I think are the needles recommended in the pattern, and the only needles that the shop that I went to had in Stroud were Knit Pro Symphony. And I think Knit Pro Symphony, they're the ones with the multicoloured wood. They're wood. I think they're the very first interchangeable needles that I got quite a few years ago. I'd love to remember how long I've been knitting for, but I can't. I think I started when I was around 18, after a sort of initial failure when I was about 15. So yeah, I think they're the first interchangeables I ever got back then. And since then I've got some other interchangeable needles, Hi-Hires and Jiaogus, and so I don't tend to use my Knit Pro Symphonies, but actually the combination of the wood and this yarn was so lovely that it's made me dig out my symphonies again, because I really enjoyed working with them. And I think that that's one of my favourite parts of knitting. I love the tools, and I love how different tools can work so well for different situations, like different yarn textures and different sort of yarn blends. Like a slipperier yarn, I'd be more inclined to use wooden needles. If the yarn's got a bit of grab, I think I'd feel like things were going a bit smoother if I was using metal needles. So I really love that I can chop and change the different tools that I use for the different projects. It's one of my favourite things. What I was tending to ask for Christmas for a while were different interchangeable sets, because I really love that I can change needles with my different projects. So yeah, I was really happy to be sort of reintroduced to my symphonies, Knit Pro symphonies, because I absolutely loved working with them on this project. And I think I just put them away because I had got new needles that I was experimenting with, so didn't get them out as much. But yeah, I've got them out now. Now I need to make them a case, I think, because they are very, very disorganised and they don't have the sizes written on them, so it would save me a whole lot of time if I didn't have to test the size of them each time I use them. But I've got quite a nice little collection of those, and I think I just got those like a size here and there. So that was a really, really enjoyable part of the project, getting to know those needles. So yeah, they're the projects that I worked on over that period of time. This shawl I think took me quite a while because there is an awful lot of knitting in there. I think this might be my 6th ball, and I've got about half left of this one, so it's a lot of yarn. And yeah, it's so beautifully squishy. So how about we go upstairs and I will draw for the prize. I think I'll put this into soak so that I can block it. And I've actually got another prize to start a giveaway for today. So yeah, let's go up and do that. I closed the thread just a minute ago and used random number generator to find winners for the load shawl cowl. And our prizes were, I've actually added a couple more prizes because you were also patient with me in drawing for this. So one of the prizes, and for this one I went through the finished objects in the thread, and the winner will get this gorgeous skein of toasted marshmallow from Elm Tree Yarns, which is just such a beautiful yarn. It's absolutely gorgeous. I would like a cardigan in this. It is constantly on my mind that it would make the most beautiful cardigan. And also this sweet little ice cream bag, because ice cream, it says some holidays to me, and toasted marshmallows are just the thing for when you're by the campfire. So the winner of that is Crafty Textile Lady. Ooh, and that's Hilary. So with these prizes, since it's been a while, I'll give you a couple of days, and if you haven't got in touch then I'll get in touch with you, because yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? So congratulations, Hilary. And I did a random like picking of all of the people in the group, and the winner of that one is Terry, who is T Sheehan? Terry. I can't remember where it is you live, but if I don't hear from you, Terry, then I'll get in touch with you. And you've won this adorable little mint choc chip ice cream bag, and it's got little sparkles in it. also from the yarn parlour, and I was going to put some little mini skeins with this one. It's got an adorable little marker here with its cherries. I was going to put some mini skeins with that one, so yeah, do get in touch if you see this, Terry. If not, I'll get in touch with you. And another prize, there's a way in the Ravelry groups that you can look to see who was the chattiest, and I really wanted to give a prize to the chattiest person because it's so lovely knowing that people are chatting and encouraging each other in the group, and it's just really, really special, I think. So the winner of the chattiest prize, and I was going to send you a little bundle of mini skeins, I hope you'll like them, went to Lily Meyer, who is Teresa. So yeah, congratulations all of you on winning prizes, and thank you so much to everyone for joining in. I hope you like the projects that you've made, and I hope you enjoyed knitting along with us. I really enjoyed knitting along with you. So yeah, get in touch with your full name and mailing address if you see this before I can get in touch with you, and I'll get your prizes sent off to you. So I'm going to start another giveaway today. A little while ago I was contacted by Blacker. They had a new birthday yarn coming out, and they got in touch asking if I'd like to have a little sample and give some away. So of course I said yes, because I really love Blacker yarns, as you've already seen in today's episode, and I love the fact that they come out with a special yarn each year for their birthday. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. It's called Brushwork. You've probably seen it. I think it's still available in some shops, but I'm a bit late to the party here. But it's a blend of Scottish Beaumont and Castle Moret, which is an at-risk breed. I'll put all the information about it in the thread, but it's absolutely gorgeous yarn. It is so lofty and bouncy. It's got in it kind of what I love about the swan, but it's got a special little heathered sort of, it's almost got little lumps of loveliness. It's still quite a smooth yarn, but it's just got such a lot of character. It's absolutely beautiful. And when they sent me, I think they just sent me sort of like half a ball to play with, and I think the balls are 50 grams each. I can't actually see on there right now. So it was quite a small amount of yarn. But this yarn was so beautiful, I didn't want to just do a little swatch. I wanted to make something that I could wear. Blacker have sent me yarn before to give away and play with, and I made a nice little coaster, which is beautiful, but with this one I just needed it to be something that I'd wear, because it's so incredibly beautiful. It's so soft and just so cozy. It's gorgeous. So I can't remember what I was thinking at the time, but I thought I would make some little mitts and do a little sort of woolly tattoo. I think I'd maybe just got some bags from Mum with her embroideries on, and so I had embroidery on the mind, and then I thought about this woolly tattoo that Dottie Angel had been doing for a while, and I thought maybe I'd have a go at that. So I made these little mitts, and I made them odd, so not matching, but sort of they have a common thread because I've used the same yarn in both of them. And they're just the sweetest things. They really are adorable. I'm so pleased with them, and yeah, they need to start living in my coat pocket now that I've shown you. They'll just keep my hands that bit warmer. So I'll put a couple of close-ups in, because I know you probably can't see them very well, But I had such a lot of fun doing this embroidery as well. I just completely improvised it. I used some Madeline Tosh Merino Light in 1, 2, 3 colours. I think I used Corbett's Green, I think the pink was Posy, and then I've used Modern Fair Isle, which is a speckled colour. And I also used some Life in the Long Grass in 2 different shades that I used for a shawl that I knit for Mum. I think it was the Aurora shawl by Curious Handmade. And I just did a sort of mixture of... I'm not very good at stitch names. I know some of them are French knots. I've done quite a lot of French knots in the middle. I can't think of what that stitch is called. Is it Daisy? Lazy Daisy? Chain stitch. I think it's chain stitch. It might be called both. So I just did sort of chain stitches around the edge, and then I did some sort of longer chain stitches here. And yeah, just sort of a mini version of that on the other glove. And it was just so fun working with that yarn. It is absolutely gorgeous yarn. So Blacker sent me these to give away, which is just very exciting. So there are 4 different colours in here. It's classed as a sport weight. Yeah, it's beautiful. So I'll pop in a bit of a close-up video that I'll do, because me holding them up isn't going to show you them very well. So there's 4 colours in here. There's Wash, Impasto, which is the colour that I used, Velatura and Smudge. And the sort of thought behind this was like paintings, hence the name Brushwork. It's such a beautiful yarn, and I was so thrilled to get to use it. And I'm very happy to be able to give some away, so thank you so much, Blacker. And if you would like to win that, I'll open a thread in the group. And since this is Blacker's birthday yarn, I would love to know if you have any birthday traditions, or what birthday traditions you have, or you have for any sort of family members or anything, or friends or anything. Just some sort of birthday tradition. If you don't celebrate birthdays, perhaps just tell me one of your favourite traditions that you have throughout the year, because I'd love to hear about those. I think traditions are just so special. On my birthday, I usually try and cast something new on that I'm really excited about. That's always a really, really fun tradition. And at the moment I seem to have the last few years I seem to have a tradition of not having a cake, but having little macarons with a candle in that I take a photo of with my knitting every year. So that seems to be a tradition of mine at the moment. But yeah, I'd love to hear about one of your traditions, be it birthday, be it yours or someone else's, if you'd like to win that yarn. I'll leave that open for a couple of weeks, and yeah, get your entries in, just 1 per person, and I'll have all the information in the thread. Lovely, lovely drink. So I think that's all I'll chat about today. I think it would be nice just to get a little podcast out there, so I can get back into the swing of things. I think that next time I'll talk to you about all the garments that I've made, because I think there are 3, and then in another one I think I'll chat to you about the shawls that I've been knitting. But yeah, thank you so much to the people who got in touch and said that they'd missed the podcast very kindly. It's really encouraging, and the lovely people who were very understanding about the fact that I might be overwhelmed by the amount of stuff I had to show you and tell you about. Yeah, I'll look forward to seeing you again in the next episode with some different bits and bobs. So have a lovely time until then. Bye.